Boop, 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 boop. Yep.
So you might be live. Might be live.
You might be live. I'm not sure. It's actually kind of a nice color for you.
Live on YouTube, but not Facebook.
We are live on YouTube, but not Facebook. Come on, Facebook, catch up. Come on, you can do it.
You're live. You're live.
And we're live across all the Adorama channels worldwide.
What was that?
Okay. All right, guys, welcome. We're live. If you don't know, if you're sitting here, so you might not know this. If you're online, you probably know. We are now streaming these on Facebook and YouTube. So if for some reason you can't make it, you're on a date, you're at a wedding, you're at work, maybe visiting the in-laws, whatever. You don't want to pay attention to what's going on. You could always stream us on Adorama TV or Facebook.com/Adorama. That sounds right. Okay, good. Got that out of the way. I'm Daniel Norton. If you guys don't know, this is Marissa and Dave. I went backwards there. Dave, who's helping on, and Marissa is our model today. Seth is on the mighty mixer. And yeah, we're going to do some single light portraits. So this is always a fun one. And I thought I'd kind of bring this one back. So we're going to explore kind of working with the basics in a sense. When I say the basics, I mean $20,000 worth of equipment. No, I mean anything that I do. This is a common question, right? Like we're using, of course, I have like the Hasselblad today. I have the X1D, and I've got Profoto lighting. The concepts are pretty much the same. And in fact, in this particular demo, I'm probably not going to use too many, if any, special features, right? I'm not going to use TTL. I'm not going to use anything like that. So whatever you got, use the technique, right, to do it with what you got. So if you're going to ask me, like, you're going to go, can I do this with a speed light? Right, that was your question, right? You already had that ready. Yeah, you could do it with a speed light. Why not? Sure. Is it going to be exactly the same? Probably not. Speed light maybe isn't as strong, blah, blah, blah. But the concepts are the same. So I try to keep this one really generic. I will say what the equipment I'm using is, because I get 1 penny per mention. So, I got to make some money, or if people ask. So if I don't say what something is, please ask, and I will tell you. If you have any questions, please, online or here, please shout it out. So I'll start off by saying I used to have a really small studio. Not as small as Gavin's, maybe as small as Gavin's. It wasn't in my garage though, but it was on 36th Street. And my studio was so small that I usually had to, how small was it? No, I had to usually a lot of times I only use one light because there wasn't really a lot of room to put a lot of light stands up. There wasn't a lot of room for things. So I got the biggest light that I could find, right? Which is probably, you're making a face, right? This is exactly what people come to me, they say, Daniel, what light should I get? I want you to know I only have a small space. And I say, oh, I don't know, like a 4-foot octa or something. 4-foot octa, a small space. The reason why you would want to use a large light source in a small space is because if you want coverage, right? If I take a small light, let's say I have a light that's this big, and I want to shoot all of Marissa, I have to back it up really far, right, to get it to spread out enough to cover her. If I have a large light source, I could pretty much put it right next to her. So having a large light source in a small space is actually to your advantage. Using smaller light sources will give you more control. Oftentimes if I'm using multiple lights, I'll use smaller lights. And we'll use some different sizes and stuff, we'll play around. But the idea being that the larger light source is going to have more coverage, and since I only have one light, I generally want to get a decent amount of coverage, right? I don't want to shoot a portrait of Marissa full length and only have her face lit up and have the rest of her black. Then I'm wasting megapixels and nobody wants to do that, right? So, yeah, that's that. We're going to start off with the large light source. I get the Profoto D2, as I said. It is in a Profoto silver deep large, I think it's called, umbrella.
I don't know if that's a deep.
Or it might be.
It is a deep silver large.
Deep silver large. All right. So what does that mean? It's a large, deep, and silver, right? I mean, so large is what I just told you, right? Large light source is going to be softer. Softer is your shadows, right? So large light source is going to give you soft light. So soft light is going to give you nice diffusion, transfer rather, between your shadow and your highlight. So that's going to give you soft light, which is generally preferable for portraits. Deep sources for umbrellas, you usually see that, means that it's going to have a little bit more directionality to it. So that'll give me a little more control. It's still going to go everywhere, and yeah, we could mess around and get it so that it doesn't get anywhere on the background, but I'm not going to do that. I'm only got one light. I'm probably going to light my whole set with this one light. That's the plan, right? And silver is going to give us more specularity, because I wanted to go for something that was a little bit more of like a punchy fashion feel. I know I have a relatively young model, although she just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Marissa. So I know that she's got good skin. She's going to have makeup that's got shine to it. So specular light sources, which is silver, makes it more specular. That has to do with my highlights. So I'm going to have punchy highlights with the silver umbrella. Punchy highlights, but shadows that kind of have a little bit of transfer, a little nicer transfer. That's what I'm going to go for with this umbrella. It's really simple. It's on a C-stand. It could be on anything, I suppose. And like I said, I'm using the Pro Photo. I'm going to start with it far away from her. Now, this is where, and I actually did an entire video on this, which you could watch, or just, I'll explain it now. The difference between the position of your light to your subject and to the background is going to be important because there's a thing called fall off, right? So basically, if I put my subject really close to my light, they're going to be brighter, right? Because they're closer to the light, right? So if my background's really far away, it's going to be darker, right? But if I pull my light source far enough away that this ratio between here and here becomes smaller, then the background begins to become brighter effectively, right? Which means that theoretically, like let's say I had a white background, I have a gray one, but let's say, well, any background really, and I put Marissa right against the background and I lit her, right? And I exposed for her. The background would be properly exposed because they're both in the same light, right? The further I move her from the background and closer to the light, the brighter she'll get, the background will be less bright, right? So you're going to want to play with that. That's going to be important. At this distance, I can pretty much tell you that this background should record pretty much close to its actual color because of this gap here, right? Pretty much. It's not going to be exactly because we don't deal with exact things here. I'm also going to raise the light source. I'm almost always going to want my light to be higher than my subject. Why? Because light in the world, right, is generally from above, right? This is what the eye sees as normal. So almost always, you want your shadows to go down, right? So you can be somewhat sideways, but the lower you get with the light source, even all the ways to sideways with it, will start to add a lot more drama and start to change the viewer's perception of it. If I go all the ways to the point where the light is below her and shooting up, that's often called horror lighting or whatever, that can be, you know, it's often called horror lighting. Seth says no, because Seth is a horror king. Or maybe a prince, I'm not sure.
Oh.
Well, you're just a child. All right, so, anyways.
Your stream just cut out. I don't know what happened.
You call him an old man.
All right, so I've got my light set up. I don't know, right? But I've been told. I don't know exactly what the exposure is here. I'm not using TTL or anything because I don't have that function with the Hasselblad. I could just guess. Nobody came here to watch me guess all day. Somebody's a light meter. That seems like the right thing to do. This is a Sekonic 308S-U. So basically, the way a light meter works is it's going to record the light falling on it. It's an incident light meter, as they say, so it's picking up the light falling on it. It's going to give you an exposure. So you point it at your light source generally. You're going to dial in this one, you dial in your shutter speed and your ISO, and when you fire the flash, it will give you the proper aperture. It'll tell you what the flash's power is, right? But before I do any of that, what do I want to set my camera at? Who knows, right? No. So generally speaking, you want to, when you're using flash, you have two options, right? You can either use the light in the space, the ambient light, if you will, or not, right? Those are your choices. So I have light here, right? You can see me, right? I'm out in the dark, which means that I could make this light part of my picture if I wanted to. I could set my camera so that this light does something and then use my flash to either fill or add contrast or whatever, right? I'm not going to do that right now. Instead, I'm going to opt to get rid of the light in the space. So I'm still using it in a sense. I'm just really underexposing it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my camera at 250th of a second. This camera actually is magic. No, I don't know why. I don't know if it has a leaf shutter or what it has, but you can actually sync much higher. But most cameras sync around 250th of a second, meaning that you can't use a flash with them above 250-ish unless you have high-speed sync, which is a whole other class you'll have to pay for later. So the same thing you paid for this one. So 250 is where I set it at, 100 ISO because it's the lowest the camera goes to. That's how I'm going to walk in here. Then the aperture needs to be whatever it needs to be to get the space dark. How am I going to know that? I can take my light meter again and put it in ambient mode if I want, or use the light meter in the camera, and I'm going to look at it until it shows me an overexposed image. So I want to be, I don't know, maybe like 3 stops underexposed. So I'm going to go, and I think I want to shoot around about maybe 5.6. So why 5.6? It sounds good. I don't know. I want to have a little bit of a shallow depth of field. This is a medium format camera, so it might be too shallow, but I kind of like how Marissa's hair is going to kind of fade off into nothingness if it goes real shallow, so I think 5.6 would be nice. So I'm going to set it at 5.6. I'm going to go to the ambient setting, and I'm going to set 100 ISO.
Which Hasselblad?
Okay, this Hasselblad is the X1D 50. So I'm going to do an ambient reading on the space, basically towards the camera is usually the easiest way. I'm getting 0.5 and 6/10, which is basically no light at all. So that's super underexposed at 250, 100. So if I take a picture, is the camera on? It is, right? Yeah, Dave can do it. Thanks, Dave. He probably has to focus in order to do it. So Dave took a picture, and oh, it's beautiful. I call this one black on black, version 6. Okay, so that means we're really underexposed. None of the ambient light, actually I can kind of see her a little bit. Damn, Hasselblad's in their high dynamic range. You see her? All right, so if I pull it all the ways over at 2 stops, I can see her come up a little bit. That's really underexposed. I don't have to worry too much about that. I'm not gonna go crazy. Now I want it to be at least a couple of stops underexposed because in post-processing, I may decide to bring my shadow detail up, especially since I'm only using one light. I might have really strong shadows, and maybe I'll want a little detail in those shadows that doesn't come up naturally. Hopefully I'll shoot it correctly, or I won't have to do that, but perhaps we'll be doing one of these test shots to show you guys something. It'll be my favorite picture, and then I'll be like, oh. So this gives me the ability to recover a little bit, but still not affect my shot. So now I'm going to switch to flash mode. The way it works, I press the test D button, and it's flashing it, and it's waiting for a flash. I'm going to point it towards the light. It's giving me a 7.1. I don't like that. 7.1. I haven't shot that way since the 70s. I'm going to turn the light down a little bit. This controller does that. I think I had a large format lens that was 7.1. 6.3, getting there. So basically it's giving me readings, right? So now I'm just dialing my flash down. I have the ability to do that because I'm lazy. I could walk over there, but come on, who wants to do that? 5.6, okay? Now.
They're asking why umbrella instead of a beauty dish.
Okay, so why am I using an umbrella instead of a beauty dish? We'll get to that in a second. Let me get a basic exposure first. But basically, because if you rewind back the video a couple minutes, where I talk about soft and all that other stuff, this is softer because it is bigger. Softer light is generally better for portraits. But we will play around a little bit with the beauty dish. I think I still have mine here, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, so we're at 5.6. We're at 100th of a second. I don't need a stool. I think I'm gonna be a baller and handhold. That's right? No, I'm not. I was going to, but that would seem like a bad idea.
It says immediately not.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do it. I am not gonna be a baller. I am not gonna be a baller. All right, so, I don't even know what baller means. All right, so, I'm gonna raise my tripod up a little bit. I'm assuming it's somebody who plays ball. Thanks, Marissa and Dave. You gotta have a team. Team sports here. All right, so. Always prep before you shoot. Okay, so I'm gonna drop my tripod down. I'm just gonna do basically like a, I don't know, like maybe a chest up kind of portrait, I think. Cool. I see nothing. Let me take a peek. There you are. Oh, that's interesting. Apparently the tripod has to go this way. They didn't say that in the directions. Boom, boom, boom. I touched the button on the back with my nose. All right, so I'm at 5.6, 250, 100 ISO. All right, hold that, please. All righty, let's see. There's a picture of, nope, you don't have to hold it in front of your face yet. All right, so this is the white balance card, which we will use. We're not gonna use it until we get a proper exposure. You can put it down your lap for now. She got all excited because she knew what it was. We've been using these all day.
Finally.
Finally, she knows. All right, here we go. She's looking at me, and I'm taking a picture. Here we go, and oops, focusing, and good. And didn't happen. Here we go. Oh, I waited till she looked down on purpose. Beautiful. All right, so look at me actually so we can get a proper one. Let's see. Now remember that I took a picture earlier, right? And indeed, it was black. So if you may have noticed on that one, but I'll take another one, the background is lit, correct? A bit, right? Now it's lit because, as I mentioned, this light is carrying over and landing on the background behind her, right? Simple as that.
You're asking what software it is.
Okay, this is Focus, which is Hasselblad's own software, which is basically what you use to tether Hasselblad. You can import other photos, but it only tethers to Hasselblad. So we've got, this isn't a great shot, but where you got a basic exposure, right? Remember that when you're using a light meter, it's going to give you what it thinks is the correct exposure, right? So that seems pretty good, actually. Well done, Sekonic. But always take a shot and make a judgment, whether or not you think it's the way you want it to look or not. But before we go too far into this, let's hold up the white balance card so we can get proper white balance. So go ahead and hold that up in front of your grill. Your grill. Oh, this one is different than mine. I guess this one is mine, but this is different than my other one, I should say. All right, so I'm doing a white balance now because people always ask me that, and I don't usually do it live. Basically, you photograph this thing, you grab your little dropper, whatever software you're in, you can do this. Boom, you see it just white balanced. Now it's going to have correct white balance. So now when we take a picture, it's just going to carry that over. For the rest of our lives, we'll have good white balance. Now, if we change modifiers, we should do another reading. All right, so look right at me. Marissa's getting funny now. All right, so now we have good white balance, but the light itself is not really that great. It's just really basic. So I've only got one light. I am light in the background, but I've got shadows on the side of her face, right? Which is generally not what I like, right? If you guys have seen me do any of these, I generally say, photographing women, it's usually best to keep the light more or less in the center. That's because you're gonna have shadow wherever you don't have light, right? So we generally want to shape the face beautifully, keep it nice and even. And what we're gonna do is move the shadow now into the center, right? What other options do we have before I do that, if I want to? We have no other options. Man, we're stuck. What are we gonna do? Yes, we could use a reflector, right? Do we have a bigger one? Like one of those Brooklyn-born, I can't say Brooklyn-born, that's Al. Hey Al, if you're watching. TM, Brooklyn-made, artisanal. Yep, perfect.
That's white?
Yep. Is that super white?
I don't think they use the silver here anymore.
Yeah, no, white's good. All right, this is a reflector card. Now, I know what you're saying. Daniel, you said this was a one light shoot, and now you're cheating. Well, yes, I am. So I can take my reflector card, and I can hold it out here. Marissa's actually doing all the work. Boom, there we go. And we can fill in, right? Now, while that is much more acceptable, I still don't like that kind of shadow on her face like that. Typically speaking, again, for a female subject, I usually like to keep my light in the center, and I'm going to show you the difference now. So yeah, let's roll that into the center, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, let's just slide it over. One advantage of having such a big light source like this, and Brella is just going to move it over, and we're kind of centering it on Marissa as best as possible. Centering it on her grill.
Chris Knight is in the chat room, and you can tell him that I found the cup holder.
Oh, Chris Knight, we found the cup holder. It has been found. He didn't give it back to me yet, but he found it. Don't lose it again. Is that what you're going to do? You're going to look down like that? Okay, here we go.
I can.
No, don't. That's terrible. It's important to always give the model instruction. No.
That's terrible. It's good.
Yeah. All right, so, sorry. All right. This is the touch screen, and I keep changing it with my nose. If you have a big nose, be careful. All right, here we go. All right, there you go. All right, here we go. Boom, 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 focusing on her eyeball. Bang. All right, so now we're centered. Now we can see the nice light. Even without the reflector, it's much nicer on her face, right? She was a hideous troll in the first shot. And now she's a beautiful young lady.
Slightly less.
Well, yeah, okay. But what's kind of nice, though, about having such a punchy light is you can clearly see, again, we're getting this like nice specularity to the skin, which gives a glow. Now, if you don't like that, use a white umbrella, right? Easy as that. That's basically the difference. I did a whole thing on umbrellas, which you guys can watch if you'd like. All right, good. Simple, right? Thanks for coming. Next week we'll do more. All right, so we got that. Let's maybe use the reflector anyways. Why not, right? There you go.
Same.
Did you want to hold the reflector, Dave? I feel like I'm cutting Dave out of everything. Dave feels lonely back there. Oh, you're going to do it like that? Okay, you can do that.
Is that how you want me to hold it?
Why not? Do it. All right, so we're gonna, yeah, that's good. Why not? Is that reflecting the light? She's hiding, basically. Is that doing anything? Probably not. Marissa's getting good at this. Yeah, that's not bad. It did something. Not a lot.
Gave you a lot more background, huh?
Yeah. Well, I changed my composition. All right, so, yeah. Go ahead and,
Hold it here.
yeah, go ahead and actually hold it properly. Sit more in the middle. There we go. So this is going to give us some reflection. All right. Cool, cool, cool. Hold on. You're good. Changing my focus point. Boom, boom, boom. Nice. Here we go. All right, so now we got a little reflector kicking in to add a little bit of fill. The closer we put it to her, the more it'll fill in, basically. But what you really need to do is go like this. Yeah.
Go.
You got to go like this, turn towards the light.
Okay.
Why don't we have Dave hold it? You were doing a good job, Marissa, but now you're killing it.
Killing it in a good way?
Your elbow is
No.
up with the,
Oh, is killing it a good thing?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you're killing, no.
You're doing
Thanks, Dan.
You were doing good, but now you're doing great.
All right. There we go. I know all the terms. I'm so new.
When I'm in.
Yeah, you are in a bit. And good. Right there is good. Focusing on your eyeballs. Boom. All right. There we go. Now we got a little fill going on. And we're good. You know, we can play around with the chin position and such. We can see it kicking in a little bit. Again, it's not completely wiping out the shadow. It's just filling it in. Also, the light's not perfectly centered.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to center it more.
moved it,
Yeah, I moved. Everything moved over because Marissa slid over. Let's have you come here to the center of the light. Nope. Yep, there you go. Cool.
Kill.
I'm going to have to be a baller. I can feel it. So, there we go. Something's loose there. We'll figure it out. All right, good. I'm going to go under the light. There we go. I think that's more or less centered. Now we should be a little better. Yep, a little bit. Nice and filled in. Right? No, yeah, I'll be a baller, I guess. I'll handhold it. Why not?
She's got good skin, they say.
Actually, Marissa's skin is terrible. No, I'm just kidding. No, she has good skin. It is important to use, if you're going to use a specular light source, to make sure you use it on somebody whose skin is going to be acceptable. Like if you have very, very shiny skin by the nature of it, you're exceptionally oily skin, a specular light source like a silver one is not going to be ideal. Remember that there's a difference between soft and hard and specular and diffuse. You can have a large light source, which is soft, but still have specular light, which means that it's got highlights that pop. It's all about contrast. That make sense? So that's the easy one, right? What's that?
Are you using a tripod if you're shooting at 250 of a second?
So why am I using a tripod if I'm shooting at 250? Well, the reason why I generally use a tripod, except in this case because that thing was in my way, is that it keeps you consistent. Yeah, simple as that. Plus, I don't lose the camera that way. And I'm tethered anyways, so. There's nothing worse than getting like a great shot of somebody, and then they look at it on the computer, they're like, let's do that again, and you can't find that exact spot again because you're moving around on the thing. So I always shoot on tripod, especially if I'm shooting commercially. I recommend it highly. Yeah, if you're shooting portraits and try to be more loose, sometimes it's nice to grab the camera and hold it in your hand. Why not? That's cool. All right, so that's one light, right? That's easy. There's not a whole lot really to do with the giant light source, so it somewhat limits you. Yeah, if it's all you have, you can mess around with it, and we could probably get the background really dark by, yeah, let's just go side lit for one, just to show. We can do that, right? But part of the thing here that we're going to explore is using different modifiers, right? That's really the key here. We only have one light, but we're going to use it in different ways to create different kinds of looks. So this is, you know, nice, simple. Young girl comes in for a headshot or even a model comp card or possibly a small beauty shot. This is a totally fine light. You could definitely shoot full length. I don't have the 45mm lens, so I can't shoot full length. Hasselblad, if you want to inform. Anyways, yeah, I mean, this is a good, clean, safe light. Like, this is the way to go. If you said, hey, Daniel, I need one modifier. What can I get to get started, whatever, I would probably say a big old umbrella is going to be super good. It's going to be cheap. It's going to be effective. It's going to get you the job done, right? We're going to change its position now, and we're going to go really side lit. So Marissa's going to face forward to me like that, right? And we're going to get probably like, maybe like this. Yeah, exactly. And then we'll see. One thing that you can do, we're probably going to have to use a reflector, but we'll just say where the light is. We'll just show where the light is first. Actually, what I'm going to do here is stay perfectly straight to me. First, I'm going to shoot it dead on so you guys can see where the light actually is, and then we'll move her face around to create a better shot. Right? That makes more sense? So you guys can see. So she's dead on right now. What didn't I do? Meter it, right? Yep.
Questioning if her forehead is overexposed.
Is her forehead overexposed? Absolutely not. Oh, look at you, still at 5'6". It probably looks overexposed on the stream because you're looking at a low quality shot, but her face is pretty much evenly exposed. There's texture every place. Keeping in mind, of course, that her forehead in this case is a highlight, so that's one of the brighter parts of her skin. All right, so straight at me. Here we go. All right, so this is going to be like a split face thing going on here. It's not going to be anything because the flash didn't go off. There we go. Try again. Okay. You're supposed to actually put the receiver on your hot shoe, apparently. Who knew that? There we go. Bam. All right, so she's lit from one side. We got a lot of problems, right? Number one, we can only see half her face. No, but it's overexposed, right? Right here, now we're overexposed. For people that had overexposed questions, there is detail there, but that's clearly overexposed, right? This is also overexposed here. So we had an exposure issue, but if I just dial down my exposure, then he's going to be way too dark because actually my neutrals look not bad, right? So what can we do? Right now, we're basically cutting her in half with this light. We can move more of it in front of her, right? Like we can go like this, pull the whole light source forward. There we go. What this is going to do two things, right? It's going to make it so that more of this part, like the edge of the light is going to hit her there, so it should help that a little bit. Also, some of this light might even come around here a little bit. And if it doesn't actually get on the other side of her face right now, we'll at least have more light to work with our reflector. So straight on again. Let's see what that does. Cool, right? Now we've got a little bit more. That's a little nicer, right, already? Didn't change anything on the camera. Haven't changed anything, right? Just move the light. Could also move Marissa, or whoever your model might be. It might not be Marissa. Could be. You never know.
They're asking if focus shows the RGB values with the 255.
Does focus show the RGB values? That I'm not sure about. Probably. I don't know. But Capture One does, and you guys probably see I do that a lot with the Capture One, where you can just float over it and it'll show you the RGB. I don't know if it does or not. So we are going to start with that shot, because that was kind of cool, right? A little moody. But let's maybe add the reflector back in, right? What are you going to learn here? If you're only going to have one light, make sure you get yourself a reflector. Seth sells these for $300, handmade in Brooklyn.
Oh, I wish I saw those for $300.
He doesn't sell very many of them for $300, but he does sell for $300. Okay, whoops. Oh, she's also turning towards the light for some reason. Nobody asked her to do that, but it might be cool. All right, there we go, right? Now, it's a little bit more punchy, right? A little bit more drama. And because the light is kind of lower on her, we're actually getting, let's compare this to this one. There's that one and that one. There we go. Nope, that's that one twice. There we go. All right. Two different looks, right? One's like a little bit brighter and kind of more open, a little more high school, right? This one's definitely college. My college picture was terrible, so I wasn't good. Anyways, same light source, same model, same camera, same settings, same white card, same coffee. The only thing that's different is the position of it relative to her, the light being it, and the background, right? This is, I talked about this at the beginning. Light is now much closer to her, relatively speaking, plus the angle of the light is not really hitting the background over there so much. We're getting a nice dark background versus a lighter shot. Right, does that make sense? Same source, easy. Cool.
They're asking if I make any reflectors under $50, and no.
Seth does not make any discount reflectors, unfortunately.
Because my $400 reflector.
Yeah, next year he's going to start distributing them through H&M. All right, so Well, they'll be the cheap ones. Oh, we could do silver. Let's do a silver reflector. Let's see what happens if we use a silver reflector.
That's a really hard silver.
This is a very hard silver.
I mean,
It's hit or miss.
It is mirror silver. So, oh yeah, there you go. Why not? Good idea, whoever did that.
don't go that close.
It's gonna blast her out. I know.
Destroy.
I'm okay with
We're going to destroy her. All right. I think that's a bad thing. I'm not sure now because I thought that grill was bad, or what did I say? Killing it was bad. No, that's nice. Cool. We are getting a bit of a highlight here on her nose, which I don't really love, but that's just a matter of turning her. That doesn't look terrible. That's basically a silver reflector. Coolio.
You must not have been totally focused on it.
Yeah. Well, it's also on the back side of her. Cool. All right, awesome. I apparently have this on some kind of weird sort order, so
Yes, you do.
I'm not going to worry about it. I will learn how to use focus, not when you guys are watching me live. All right, so here we are. Let's change the modifier now, though. Let's play around a little bit. You saw what a giant umbrella will do, right? Now that's one thing. So I could take my giant umbrella. I can do kind of a dark background, more moody shot. I can do something that's a little bit more neutral and clean. But what if we were to use, I don't know, a soft box? People like soft boxes, right? They're soft and they're boxes. I tend to like a strip box. Now, I will say this. If you only have one light, you said, Daniel, I only have one light. What should I buy? I already told you umbrella. But if I wasn't going to say umbrella, I would not say this. Strip boxes are great for some stuff, but they're somewhat limited because you don't have a lot of coverage. But since I have this one, I'm going to use it. This, by the way, is Cliff here. This is an OCF strip box. You're not supposed to use it on the D2. So don't do that. You know, it's mostly because of the modeling light, like Dave said, if not 100% because of the modeling light. So we're just not going to use the modeling light. Yeah, I can actually feel it's a little bit hot.
We'll leave the back open.
We'll leave the back open. I feel okay with it. You guys feel okay with it. What's the worst thing that can happen? It'll melt. I know a place in New York City on 18th Street where you can get new soft boxes
There's a fire station
at a good
right
price.
down the street.
Right, exactly. Now this is going to be much more controlled, right? Softbox, we want to use that where we really have to control the light. Like here, I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we got a dark background, but we didn't need it, right? If you needed it to be a dark background, this is going to give you a lot more opportunities to do that because you can clearly see the light is going to travel out. So let's have you slide this way slightly. Perfect, and then sit in the center of it, more or less, yeah. And then look right at it. All right, so we're gonna do a nice profile shot, right? Not a Facebook, well, maybe a Facebook profile shot. LinkedIn, Tinder. Is it a profile shot on Tinder though? I don't know. You know, you're like Tinder.
I don't know about them.
He's more of a Bumble guy. All right, that's 7.1, 6.3. Now, even though this box is going through, the light I should say is going through a bunch of diffusion, which is the softbox, what makes softbox, it's actually more powerful. The setting was, and why? I turned the light down a bit, because this is smaller, so all the light's staying in the, the one space. Now, it's small, but it's still relatively large compared to the size of the subject that we're shooting, which is Marissa's head. So it's still going to be pretty soft. And we're going to do, one of my favorite things to do with the strip is this kind of profile shot. And then we're going to maybe move its position relative to Marissa back and forth, and we'll see what we can get. So look straight at it. And again, we're going to see this is a 5.6. I'm going to change my focus point. Here we go. Nice. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, interesting, right? Kind of cool. We're getting a little bit of light wrapping around her. It's nice and even. We've got like a little bit of detail back here. We probably could throw a reflector. It's not gonna, this is where a silver reflector might be nice. It's not gonna throw too much light back because again, distance, right? But let's try the silver reflector, just see if we get a little bit of detail in front of her. In the front of the back of her. If that makes sense. Okay, I think you're in a smidge. Good, good. That makes her chin go down. Perfect. Okay, so no reflector, reflector. Now, to me, this is nicer, right? I mean, we want to make judgment calls when you're doing this kind of stuff. If I'm going to shoot a really contrasty profile, I don't really necessarily want to fill her in all the way, but some people will like that. And it kind of comes down to the shape of your model's face and who you're photographing and what you want it to look like. But let's talk about shadow a little bit more. We could actually, instead of using a reflector card, we could also move this light more over here. That would likely get a little more light on that side of her, right? Because this light's over here, right? Let's see what that does. This might be a smidge underexposed. I know, might hit her. Okay. I just fired the flash to see it. There you go. No, it's nice, right? That's a little prettier, right? Got a little softer glow across it. She seems a little sad. She's like, oh, I could have went out today, but it's raining, and I want some Reese's peanut butter cups. But they only had M&Ms, you know, and here we are. But we could also get more contrasty, more moody, right? We could put the light further back. What's that going to do? That's going to create more shadow towards the camera, right? Because now we're going to basically be lighting this side of her face, which the camera's not really seeing, right? Yeah, that'll work. Let's look straight ahead. Perfect. Just like I went to the movies and there was no Twizzlers. And now we have, you know, very dramatic, moody feel, right? Make sense? All that light's still there. It's just over here somewhere, right? And to that effect, maybe we can, do you think we can grab some of that light and go like this with a silver card? Let's try that. Let's try that.
You want it more, or do you want it kind of?
I want almost like hair lightish. Yeah, like kicking back at her. Well, you know, hair lightish. We'll do what we can. We're never going to get a full, like, bright hair light because the light is traveling and then bouncing back, right? Oh, yeah, there we go. Dave's in the shop, but you get the idea. That includes one Dave with that technique. But, yeah, actually, let's make that a little nicer. Go ahead and tame your ponytail a little bit. Yeah, good.
Tame.
All right. Yeah, and then we'll try to do it with other things. I feel like this could be nice. And bring your chin up a little bit when you do it. Good. Now, where her chin is going to change the shape of her face. That's why I'm doing that, right? Because if I have her chin down, she's going to get a little bit under her chin, right? Not a double chin like I would have, but you know, she's got a little bit more rounded, more up. She's stretching that muscle, the mandible, something. I don't know. I don't know if that's a muscle or not. I'm not a doctor.
Pretty sure.
I just pointed at Seth because he knows stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, mandible. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds right.
That sounds right. Nobody knows, so we're good. All right. Your hands in a bit, Dave. Right there. Perfect. Good, good, good. Here we go. And boom. Nice. Now we've got tamed hair. She closed her eyes for some reason. She's waiting for it. She's like, I wish upon a star to get some Twizzlers or Goobers.
Sponsorship from Mars or something?
Raisinets. Do they still make the Mars bar? I used to love that thing.
Yes.
But it was small. It was like smaller than the rest of the candy bars. Like, what's up with that?
Do they still make that Charleston shoe?
I love Charleston Chew, actually. Oh, my God. If anybody is watching and they can get me a Charleston Chew, I'll take it. Thank you. I like the strawberry ones, but I'll take chocolate or the vanilla. All right. Anyways, that's a strip box. What else can we do with a strip box? Oh, I don't know. Perhaps we could turn it on its side. What? Why would you do that? You're crazy.
You're crazy.
Right? This is going to give us more coverage this way, especially when I'm only shooting this much of it, right? I don't need all that other light, right? So now we can even do a more extreme, yeah, let's go this way, right? It also looks a lot more like you're in a spaceship,
It does.
which can be fun. All right, so now we're doing this, right? Strip box. And I want to say, time for the sponsorship message. No, I'm just kidding. One thing that you should do when you get a new piece of equipment, right? And this is actually people come to me and they say, Daniel, I said it a lot today. People do come to me a lot and say Daniel for some reason. It is my name. And they say, I'm buying these lights and I have this, this, and this. What else should I get? And I always say to them, what do I say?
Experiment.
Nothing, right? Use what you have until you can't do what you want to do. Then get something else. Buying a new light or buying anything else and getting every piece of equipment you could possibly see because somebody told you online that you should have a beauty dish or whatever is not the way to go. Learn how to use what you have. You'll reach a point where you can't do something, then you know what you need. So to that point, when I get myself a strip box, and it's like, well, Daniel uses a strip box, so I'm going to buy one. Now, would you buy more of them if my name was on it? Because I'm trying to work on a little contract. But anyways, you know, so I want to use it. So, okay, I got the strip box. Let's do everything we can possibly do with the strip box, right? And this is kind of where you want to be. So we're messing around with this. I'm going to show you like just different stuff we can do with it, right? So now remember this shot here where we had it sideways, and when we brought it a little forward to give her a little bit of fill, we'll go ahead and go sideways down. Let's see the difference. Okay, so straight at the light again. Nice. Right? Now that whole side of her face is beautifully washed in light, right? Because look at how big the box is, right? It's wrapping around this side very nicely. But it's small relatively this way, which is giving us a nice shadow under her chin, shaping that face, making it look really nice. Also, with all this extra light over here, that's much more light for Dave to bounce back.
You want silver or white?
Let's go silver. The silver reflector, by the way, is $450.
You want to do the same thing in the back?
Yeah, exactly. Nice. Picks up a little bit of detail. Again, we're never going to have as much light in the back as we have in the front because, you know, light falls off as it travels. Yeah, Seth was out back with a glue stick making the silver thing, so you guys should really appreciate it a lot.
Glue, thank you very much. And it was great here.
Okay, so the other cool thing you can do with the strip, which isn't going to be that effective right now because it's a single light, is keep in mind this thing doesn't have to always be this way or that way, right? It can be somewhere in the middle. So we can actually tweak it a bit. Nice. You know, and we can do things like this. We can kind of split the difference, right? We can bring it around. Now, what's going to happen here, right? This part of the light is what? Closer, right, than this part. So it's going to make the light uneven. Oh my God, uneven light. Why are you doing that? I can't believe it. But that's how I roll. So go ahead and look this way, I think. Good. Why not? It is like a prison outfit. Except you're supposed to have matching pants or whatever. Okay, here we go. The box is in my shot a little bit, so I'm going to make a funny composition because I feel like it. Actually, let's go this way. Whoop. Good. Nice. Right? Right? Now we're getting contrast of light, right? And we've got just that little bit of catch light in her front eyeball. Right? Delicious. Now, it's a little bit blown out or a little hot on her forehead here. And it's a little bit I mean, again, there's detail, but relatively speaking, it's a little bit underexposed there. That doesn't mean it's wrong, right? It adds a little bit more character to it. And remember that things don't have to always be 100% perfect, especially if you're trying to build lighting that looks more like real life, right? At a certain point, you're going to have done the basic stuff, like I can light you head to toe, nice and easy, and make it look really perfect and totally even, and I don't have any blown up. That's not how life is, right? And you'll find that as you start to develop your own style, you can start to play around and really push the limits and know what you can do. Just know your camera and, you know, be willing to experiment a little bit. But yeah, let's throw a little bit of reflector in because we always throw some reflector in. Why wouldn't we? Did you just break that chair?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Yeah, go back a little bit.
same pose?
Yeah, why not? Okay, getting my composition here. Here we go. Nice. I got the softbox in there a little bit, but right now we got a little bit of fill if we want that detail there for us, right? So there's a whole lot of things you could do if you needed to make it perfect. But like I said, I don't think that with this kind of thing, thank you, Dave. Apparently, I'm notorious for leaving the pointer on top of the thing. So people should just shout at me if I do that. Okay, cool. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Anybody want to do some poetry or anything, like a poetry jam? All right, so let's try a different modifier. Let's go the other direction, right? Let's go really small and hard, right? Why not? So I'm going to take my softbox off. Again, this is the 1x3 strip, OCF. Don't put it on a D2. I'm also going to use the OCF grids, I guess, yep, which you shouldn't put on a D2, but I know I asked for the D2 because that's probably, whoa, you asked for it. I did. I asked for a D2. Why did I ask for a D2?
Why not?
Why wouldn't you ask for a D2? Someone's like, what light do you want? Oh, D2. I mean, why wouldn't I? Yeah, if you have access to it. This is just, it's grid. Thanks, Dave. So this is the grid set, the OCF grid set. Basically, it goes on the front of the light. A grid is going to reduce your spread, right? It does not focus the light. That's important. Focusing your light will make the light brighter. This does not do that, it just reduces the spread. So it also feathers a bit, and it also adds a little bit of contrast. So grids are really interesting, they're really common to use. They're great just to add a little bit of something. Let's go with a, yeah, let's go with the medium.
There's a request for gels, but you wouldn't do that with one light.
There's a request for gels, but Seth says not to do gels with one light. I think,
The entire thing.
and yeah, it'll make everything one color. But you know what? We might do it anyways, just because. And we'll see what it looks like, right? Let's try it.
20 degree?
We're gonna go with 20-degree grid. Grid, 20 degrees, right? That's how you do it. No? All right, what this is gonna give us now. All right, so we're gonna risk it. Cliff's not here, right? Hey, John Griffin. So we're gonna turn this on for a second so we can see where it's going, but only for a second so we don't melt it. And we're just gonna aim it at our grill. I think right here. Or maybe right here.
Spot or
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do like a 3/4.
do you want to go
Turn right here.
more narrow with
Perfect.
the grid,
No,
or
no, that's good, I think. That'll cover most of her face.
like this?
Yeah. So now we're gonna give like a circle of light on her face and let the rest of it fall back. Now this light is smaller. Smaller light is going to be hard. Hard light is gonna have abrupt switch to shadows. Oh, we probably should meter it again. ProPhoto needs to make an Apple Watch app so that I can just fire it from my watch. 4. Okay, this is at 4 right now, so I'm going to turn the energy up. That should be one stop. It is. Wow, I like when that math works. Sometimes when you have a light system, not ProPhoto, and you like turn it up one stop and it goes up like 7 stops or half a stop, and you're just, whoop. So they do a good job with that. Well done. All right, here we go. 5.6, 250th of a second, 100 ISO, 20-degree grid, Marissa, New York City. Ooh, interesting. So it's hot, right? And this light is also specular because we haven't added any diffusion to it, right? So now our forehead is a bit blown out. Again, there's still detail there, but I'm also shooting with the Hasselblad. And remember too that, I don't know why there's a big square there, because the computer is acting funny, but I'm not going to worry about that. Remember that, think about delivery. This is key. I can't tell you the number of times that I've seen a picture somewhere where it looks like crap, and you know that like when they shot it, it probably looked great. But the problem is, your screen, right, the computer, you're in Photoshop, you're looking at the 16-bit files, that's not necessarily where it's going to be displayed. You might make a print. It might end up being a poster here in the store. It might be wherever. You have to think about your final output when you're doing this. So it's best to be a little bit safe if you can be. So I can see this is a bit hot on her forehead. So I think what I want to do actually is just, I'm going to change the angle of the light. I'm not going to change the power. Because if I change the power, the rest of it will go dark. So maybe we'll tilt it down a little bit, right? Or raise it and tilt it, or turn it away a little bit. Yep, you can also feather it. Either way. Basically, we're going to feather the light. We're going to not use the center of the light. The center of the light is the hottest part. Right now, it's pointed right at her forehead. We're going to point the center of light over here now.
Down a little bit as well.
And we'll point it down a tiny bit to change the angle. This is the Marissa After Dark shot. That's your After Dark face, really? There we go. All right. That's an After Dark face. There we go. So.
That was a great lemon.
Okay, so. All right, so here we're definitely going to need some reflector, right? Because there's like no detail where we want it to be. But before I do that, let me just demonstrate something for a second. Remember that where you're standing with the camera is really important, and this comes down to the hand holding versus being on a tripod, whatever, moving. Oh, that's good. I like the little punk rock mohawk thing going on. Yeah, go ahead, put it in. It's good.
Oh.
Just put it in front. Yep, why not? This is like a flock of seagulls. Yep, there we go. Is that the name of it? Flock of, yeah, that's right, right? We're going flock of seagulls on you guys. It's happening.
Nice. Nice.
I'm also going centered, and I think down a bit, maybe? Up and down? I'm gonna change the, yeah, we're gonna raise the light and then point it down. Okay, so what am I doing here partially? Part of it is I'm being a goof and I like that her hair was like that, but what else? Her forehead was hot, right? So what am I doing? I'm covering it. I mean, come on. Listen, every solution is not change something on your camera, right? I mean, sometimes you gotta just move the model or move yourself. All right. Here we go. This is the flock of seagulls. Right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's her shot, right? Put that thing on Instagram, throw some filters on it, you guys are done.
Thanks.
Yeah, right? You should have bangs. That's actually kind of nice. This is not as terrible as you think. All right. Know what would make this even better? A gel. Come on. Let's do it. And let's do this. You know what I'm going to do? Let's just cover part of the light with the gel. Oh, that's right. Out of the box today.
Oh, I've got to do here, so.
You want to use the strip to do that?
No, let's do it with this. So let's just cover a little part of it and see what happens. This could be terrible. You never know. We'll assume it's going to be good. I mean, who's watching?
Who's
Oh,
watching?
only like thousands of people.
200 people.
Ah. What's the worst case that could happen? So I'm going to try to cover part of the light to see if I can get a little bit of the light to have color to it, right?
Don't do red. Did red get 1 minute.
You're not allowed to use red because Seth used red already. We're using red. Let's just use it.
We're using red.
We'll start with red and we'll change it if we need to.
Where's your filter holder?
No, don't hold it. Just hold it with your hand.
Okay.
Cross her arms.
No.
Well, I think she has to hold her hair to keep it in place.
Oh, you still want me to hold the hair?
Yeah, yeah. And no, I don't want it on the bottom, though. All right, so basically, yeah, exactly. You can do that. You want to turn the model on that for a second? Or are we just going to risk it?
I said blue across the orange.
Blue across the orange would be really nice because blue and orange are complementary colors, so it neutralizes. That's very smart. Seth has got his color science down. He wasn't messing around. All right. Don't screw this up. Oh, by the way, what did Marissa do? Who here has shot a model before?
Oh,
That's right. You see that? Every model does that. That's how you know a real model.
The wristband.
well, I didn't know you.
That's right. Any of you aspiring models out there watching? You know how many of these wristbands I have that I've headbands rather I've had to take off people? Yeah.
Okay, is this a live stream or a roast? A roast. Marissa roast.
All right, that's it. Give it to me. You have to give like fashion terms when you start doing weird stuff. Work it. That kind of stuff.
It's so funny when Daniel.
You could even throw in the work it girl if you want. That also helps. There you go. That added a little bit of color, right? Didn't make it crazy red. Interestingly, I thought it might have given us like a red spot, but it just made the whole thing a little bit warmer, which kind of looks cool. Oh, and my voice is also changing. Apparently I've reached puberty. This is good. I'll be happy.
No.
Yeah, it didn't,
You want to do Seth's
Rim
sleep?
light.
yeah. A rim light.
Well,
Come on now. We can do a rim light. We got time for that. It's getting crazy. It's nighttime. All right, Dave's doing something. So what do you guys, question, thoughts, concerns? Yes.
Post-processing, can you
Uh-oh.
recover most of these details in post-processing, the highlights?
Okay, so can you recover detail in post-processing, in the highlights? If there's detail there, yeah, I mean, sure. The thing is, okay, it really depends on where you are, right? Here's the philosophy on this. I'm not going to bash you for saying post-processing because I know a lot of people might do that. Or say that's all you should do. You have to think about what you're doing, right? If I have Marissa in my studio, like I know Marissa, we've shot together a gazillion times. She discovered me when I was a young man. Basically, we shoot together all the time. I'm goofing around. We know whatever. If I just met her and she's giving me $1,000 to shoot her headshot, and I sit down at the computer and I start shooting them, and they start looking at it, and they're just like, "See the face I'm making?" And then I'm like, "Oh, don't worry, I'm going to fix that." Is that where you want to be? Is that worth the money that they're paying you? That's what I would say about that. If you're doing it because you love photography and you're learning, or you shoot something where you don't really have any control and you're in a rush and you have to get it, and the camera is capable of bringing back the detail, sure, bring it back. Why wouldn't you, right? But to be able to get it in camera as close as possible is really key if you want to actually do this for other people, not just for yourself. So think about it like that. Okay. Did we get the thing on there while I was talking? No. We didn't do it. We just said screw it.
Well, I was thinking I could get a big gel.
I know that would be a good idea. And hold it like that. Do you want to do that? I said we do it. Sure. All right, Dave's going to do something awesome. Dave's gonna, and while he does that, I'm just going to shoot a few more like this because I kind of like the shot. And it's going to be on my Instagram tomorrow. Be sure to follow me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to do it. I've never before put a picture of Marissa. I just called her Maria. I will never hear the end of that.
It's the sleeves.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it is the sleeves. Do the hair thing. I like that. I like the hair thing. Do you guys like the hair thing? No? Too bad. Do you like it? You like it, yes. See, I knew you had taste.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah, you want pink or green?
Yeah, and I like the chin up a little bit, and you're kind of like, oh. Right, exactly. All right, good. Making sure I didn't change the setting with my nose again. That's good. You're like, oh my God, my hair is so weird. Okay, I am so avant-garde. Yeah, that's it. Let it fall. Boom. 2. There we go. Do something weird. It's always important to shoot until it's bad.
Jeez.
Right?
Oh, that's going on brand.
Because then you know that you got it. Right?
I like almonds.
But that one's kind of cool, right? So we let the hair fall, and then we just let it go where it goes, you know?
I got pink gels for you.
Oh, we got some pink gels going on. Oh, there we go. See? Dave knows what he's doing. So when the gel was really close to the light, right? It was too close, right? All the light kind of got together, and it was like, what's going on here? And became like one source, right? It became homogeneous, like milk, right? If we move the gel further away, right, then the light has time to kind of do its thing and be like, oh, I'm light. And then a little bit of it hits the pink, boom, we're good. So let's make the pink happen. I like milk, guys. Sorry.
Hold on, let me get a rough placement where we want to be.
I don't know what she's doing.
Do you want me to do that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Listen, we got to do this. We're doing this hair thing for the rest of the day. Okay. Nobody wants to see your eyes. They're terrible.
Well,
Marissa has the best eyes ever.
Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Thanks, Kathy.
Oh, am I supposed to say it or Marissa? We don't know.
Okay, hold on. Let me get the gel in place. So,
Oh, there's a little hole. Do I want my eye to...
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Blossom. Awesome blossom. Isn't that a thing from Chili's? God, I'm so hungry. But they don't feed me here anymore. All right, are we in place?
hold on. Gotta remove it again.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Oh, beautiful. Here we go, and boom. Now, there we go. Partial gel. And we can play around with it, right? She's in the club, right? Actually, let's put it from the top, because that makes more sense, right? If she was in the club. Apparently, I'm not supposed to say disco anymore. I've been told that that's not cool.
But they're not around anymore?
I mean, in Spanish, isn't it discotheque? Who speaks Spanish here? Right? It's discotheque? No one wishes anymore? Would you say the club?
No, nowadays I think they call them, I have another word for that.
Okay, she's gonna tell me the word. I'm learning Spanish today. We're good. See, maybe I took Spanish a long time ago and it was discotheque. All right, here we go. Discoteca. See? Yeah, that's what I say. We'll go out.
We're going.
But there is another word.
There is another word. Okay, focusing. Ooh, that will be an interesting composition. Oh, not terrible. All right, now we got just a little bit of light from the top, right? We're playing around with the gels. Now, another thing you could do if you didn't have a Dave and you really wanted to do this, let's say that this is something you want to do. Take the gels.
Antro.
Ancho?
Antro.
Antro. Antro.
That's kind of a slang for, you know.
I don't know. What does it mean? It just means club.
Yeah.
Oh, antro. All right, I'll say it from now on when I'm hanging out with Spanish people. So we could actually form a kaleidoscope. Would it be a kaleidoscope? Yeah, kind of a kaleidoscope and shoot through the middle.
Is it still around?
Yeah. Like Lucy.
I might have a cookie you can
You might have a cookie. No. Have you got a cookie? Have you got it? Seth has a cookie. We're off the rails now. It is happening. So basically, what I'm thinking is, let's say I'm going to do this, right? Let's say that I told you guys this was a one-light demo, but now I've completely gone off the rails, so this is what we're doing now. And we have this cookie. We could put the gels.
Amazing cookie.
just take them across this.
So you had made a video about this.
We actually did make a video about this last week, but we used it on the background. Now we're going to use it on the foreground.
No, but it's like,
Yeah, we're going to make a thing. Anyways,
We'll do it on this one.
but I think for this,
it's gonna just breaks it up a
It
bit.
doesn't go through this one easy, it goes to this one easy.
all right, we're having a conversation now. Any questions, guys, while we do this? Yes.
Can you watch the videos at a later date anywhere?
Yes, you could watch my videos at a later date. So I placed him in the audience, by the way. That was, yeah. If you guys are watching right now on Adorama TV, so YouTube.com/Adorama TV, you'll see these live streams, or you can just follow me on YouTube, Daniel Norton Photographer, and you'll have these plus my other ones, plus some stuff that's maybe not as friendly as this, if you know what I mean. Marissa swears in one of them. She says the F-bomb. She totally does. Twice, I think. All right. Awesome. So now we've made a cookie. Remember when you're a professional photographer, it's always important to have really high-end gear. It looks really fancy. You know, we don't want to use any of that junk. Right, so now we've got this, and we can shoot the light through this. We'll get a mixture of light. Let's see what that looks like. Let's try it.
They're actually you don't have a date.
What?
What if you don't have a date?
If you don't have a Dave, well, oh well.
You
I
can
feel
tell.
bad for you.
What's this interesting? Facebook likes the G-rated demos, but YouTube says they prefer your others.
Oh, interesting.
Let me wait.
Well, this is why we do both. We try to keep it, you know, we keep it multi-rated. Yeah, we're like a,
Hit the spectrum. Maybe.
yeah, we hit the spectrum.
Okay, let's see.
I'm just going to go for it because I have no idea. Oh, that's kind of interesting, but dark. Why is it dark? Because there's a bunch of gels in front of the light. So I'm just going to turn the light up by like one stop. Now, how do I know I turned it up one stop? Just looking at it, really, to be honest with you. But if you didn't know, you could go over to your EV slider and just kind of move it up till it looks good. So I move it to one stop. You know, now we're starting to get neutralized. In fact, I could even go a little bit less than one stop. But I think one stop's good.
It's like the blinds out of a motel.
Yeah, go up one stop. I'll pull it back a bit.
Oh, okay. I went up one stop and Dave's backing it up. Why is he backing it up? Back that light up. Right? That's what you say to lights that you see on the street that you're interested in.
Oh my god. Oh my.
I don't know. You know, as long as I amuse Marissa, that's all I'm here for. This is really the. All right. His backing light's going to have more spread. It's also going to be a little bit harder. Harder light is going to create a little bit of a tougher line there, and it lowered the power. That's actually lowered it a lot. So much so that you can't see anything.
It's off.
Aha, I apparently turned the light off.
Wait.
You know, just to keep us on.
Okay, yeah, stay on your toes.
All right, chin up a little bit. That's it. Oh. If you're, okay, hold on. Good. You're doing a good job. All right, so what's important here is she's got all this crazy hair stuff going on. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Now, this is where a modeling light would be awesome, because I would love to have some light on her lips. So we may have to just risk the gel. Not the gel, the grid.
It was not happy.
Oh, it wasn't going on because it was too hot?
Yeah, yeah. We can actually probably take the grid off completely.
Yeah, let's just take the grid off and see what happens.
Okay,
I think I can return that.
I'll go over to the top.
Didn't melt. All right, we're lowering it one stop to compensate for the missing grid. And we're going to do a test shot. Hold on to your seats. It's happening. All right, I'm ready for you, Marissa. Up a bit more. Let me see some lip. Good, right there, right there, right there. Hold, 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 hold. Here we go. All right.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, okay. That's weird.
Let's try again. It's hard for me to get.
Yeah, can we kill the house lights?
Yeah.
Sorry, online. We're going to be in the dark for a second.
I'm just gonna kill the. Is that good enough for you, Dave?
You can probably also crank
That's
this.
the one I need to. Is the modeling all the way?
I think it's down. Yeah, you gotta. It's probably proportionate. Switch it to.
It is.
They're discussing whether DIY modifiers like this is professional.
Okay, so here's what I'll say to that about DIY modifiers being unprofessional. Anybody ever seen The Godfather? They built all those lights for the most part to create that look that's so famous now. You build the light that you need. Now, I will say this. If I'm, turn towards me a little bit, Marissa. Dave, you're in a tiny bit. Right there is good. That's perfect. Hold, hold, hold. If you're in certain situations, there we go. If you're in certain situations, looks a little underexposed. Yeah, let's turn up some. If you're in certain situations where something exists, like would I build a softbox out of, you know, an Amazon packet? Oh, I shouldn't say Amazon here. Amazon box with a piece of tissue paper in front and bring it to a corporate headshot gig? No, of course not. But if the thing doesn't exist, like who makes this, right? Seth didn't make it. But I mean, besides that.
I'm gonna start my own best cut.
Best cut. I like it.
Oh,
There we
nice.
go. Yeah, we're getting some fun stuff here, right?
You're in the discoteca.
Yeah, we're in the Wow, I never thought anybody could say Spanish worse than me, but that was it. You basically.
And I got a Spanish last name.
And you got a Spanish last name. You could go to the
I just keep making
discoteca.
me look good. Modified, bad Spanish.
All right, here we go. Last one. This one's for her LinkedIn profile.
LinkedIn, like hire me.
Let's get interesting.
Any questions, by the way? Hold on, you ready?
Hold on. Let me rotate it this way.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like when a little bit of bare light hits the background. All right, here we go. Nice.
They're asking
Oh,
what
yeah.
your ISO is again.
Cool. Okay, so settings on the camera. 100 ISO, 250th of a second, 5.6. That has not changed. Now, I will say that when you're shooting in the studio, I mean, we're messing around here and I'm hand holding it because I'm wild, but one question we had earlier about tripods and stuff is, when you're in studio, try to be consistent with what you do, right? So if my camera's set, there's no reason to change it. If suddenly I wanted, let's say, less depth of field or more depth of field for something, okay, I'll change the camera. But otherwise, there's no reason for me to change my camera. If it's underexposed, I turn my light up. If it's overexposed, I turn my light down. Camera remains the same. It's a good habit to have. Now, if you only have one light and you're only using one light, you could probably do either as long as none of the ambient light's affecting your shot. The problem is when you start having 4 or 5 lights and I go, oh, this light's too bright, and then all of a sudden I turn my camera, now all my other lights are wrong, right? This is why you want to get in the habit of leaving your camera set to where you want it to be, right? You're the photographer, you already decided, I want 5.6, I want this. Change your lights, okay? So that's a good kind of general rule, even though I don't like rules because I'm a rebel. Dottie? Is that Dottie? Pee-wee Herman?
I'm a loner, Dottie.
I'm a loner, Dottie, right? There we go. Thank you, Seth.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, good. Let's do one more modifier. What do you guys want to see? Beauty dish? Somebody online asked for it. You don't like beauty dishes. You're like, nah, I don't like beauty dish.
Something handmade.
Oh, something handmade. Well, I don't think we have anything else handmade. I'm sorry.
Go like this, around the light. Just go like this.
Yeah.
Wait,
Kind of hot, actually. Kind of hot.
I can make a shape though with the light. That'd be cool.
That is not a bad idea.
Well, you could bounce it.
We can, yeah, okay, we'll do that quickly for you. Okay, so let's say you don't have any modifiers because, I don't know, the light was really expensive, $2,000. I mean, what are you gonna do, right? So we're gonna try to make something. So we could bounce the light pretty simply off of a board, even though the board itself is $300, but it's still cheaper than some things. Nah, it's too much work. Let's do it like, let's do something pretty dramatic. Let's bounce it straight up into this, and then down, and then we'll go card underneath. Yeah, exactly. Cool. So we're gonna build like a little thing. I will name it after, and you guys can buy it from what's your company's name gonna be?
Best guy.
Best Scott. I probably should just stand for this.
Sorry, David. 2000.
So we're over here making our stuff. Listen, there was a time when Gary Fong was just a guy that was a wedding photographer. Who knows, Seth? You could become the.
He was like, this wonton soup container works so good. This wonton.
Sorry, I'm going to put this on a C-stand because I'm using a $2 piece of cardboard. Why wouldn't I put it on a $300 stand? All right, it's $3.
It's not cardboard, it's foam core.
It's foam core.
Substrate.
Is that going to flop too much? It'll work.
I think it's drooping just by looking at it.
All right, fine. Dave's looking at.
Eggplant it.
We got it. This is why Dave does all this.
Oh, look at this guy.
I know, right?
Look at this guy.
Oh, and we have a clamp. We have so much stuff going on here.
Actually, we should set it this way more.
Yeah. There it is. I can't get it inside the thing for some reason. Why are you not going in there?
Keep moving it.
You're clipping me. Join us for the Dave and Daniel show where we stick things into. Why isn't it going in there now? There we go. There it is.
Yeah.
I've done this before, I swear. All right, so we're going to go like that. Make sure it's level. So we're creating a little bit of a roof here because we got a request for a DIY, which I didn't prep for at all. I should know better than that. That's probably pretty good, right? I think it's too close. Too low, rather. Go a little higher?
Yeah.
I just don't want too much spill on her.
Yeah.
How's that? That'll do it. So we're going to bounce into this. It's going to come down, creating terrible light from above, and then we're going to bounce light back up to fill in the shadows. There we go. And by terrible, it might be awesome. One thing that I always do, which I think is a good idea when you're messing around trying things, is at this point, like I already have in my mind, right? Okay, we're going to put this light here, we're going to bounce it, we're going to add another light. I'm going to take a shot with just this light first, because guess what? That might be awesome, right? It's probably not going to be. I mean, what I know is that it'll probably cast terrible shadows, but if she has her chin up a bit, which she does right there, we also don't want any of the naked light to hit her. Facebook doesn't like the naked light. No, I think that's not bad, actually. Oh. Is this meter just broken? It's on 5.6 all the time? Like, what's happening here? No. That'd be hilarious, actually. It's been pretty dead on. This is actually, I don't know, I probably say this a lot. Not this one, because now it's -U for some reason, which I don't know what that stands for. We could probably find out. This was the very first light meter I ever had. And it fell in the ocean.
Well, now they have a new one.
And the second light meter I ever had, which was left on a subway train by a makeup artist. And the third light meter I ever had that was stolen.
You bought that one a lot.
I bought that one a lot. Now I have the 5, whatever the new one is.
Let's try the. Do you want the fill now or?
Now let's do without the fill first. So let's do a couple things. Number one, straight at me. No, just, yeah, that's fine. You can hold it in your hand like that. No, don't. Just drop it straight down. Look straight at me like whoa. Yeah, like that look. Yeah, like the I'm a mannequin look. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, just so we thought, bouncing from above. On Marissa, not the worst light in the world. Why? Because she has a pretty nice face for it. Big eyes, you know, she's what we call a ringer.
A ringer?
A ringer. Like, you're beautiful. Don't tell anybody. All right, chin up a little bit. If she works towards the light, she'll have more light in her face. But then she'll also look like she's looking up at nothing, right? Which may or may not be good depending on what you're doing. If that's some kind of a lip shot, let's say for a beauty editorial, it's a piece of cardboard, right? And again, this could be just about anything. This could be a speed light. This could be a Profoto D2, which you could purchase right over there for $2,000. This could be anything. But let's say we want her looking at me because I like when Marissa looks at me. She has a kind face. We're going to need some fill. So this is where the reflector comes in. We're going to go silver just to be crazy. Okay, I'm going to get it nice and close. You can actually lean forward a little bit. This is going to be very like over the top. Actually, I wonder if it'd be, well, let's see. Whoosh. Now it's like, wow, I'm discovering something, right? Totally different. I'm also closer to her, of course. All right, let's be not so much in your face. Okay, like that. That's good. Yeah, there we go. Nice and clean, crisp, beauty, shot. And what are we using? And why can we do that without using a beauty dish, right? This is basically the shot that I was going to make if I put out the beauty dish, which is very expensive, right? Because we understand light, right? We know what it's going to do. We have an idea. We want to shape her face with light from above that will then give us all the nice jawbone and show everything up, make the cheeks come out and everything. But that makes it too dark in her eye sockets. So what do? We bounce light back up to fill. We're bouncing the light around because we have only one light. Now, if I had more lights, I could add her to the background. I could do all kinds of stuff. I mean, I could put a pink gel and just lay it on the silver.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah. Maybe. Yes, what's the ISO at? 100.
So they're debating needing a light meter or not.
Okay, so whether or not you need a light meter. A light meter is a great tool to get things set up quickly and to repeat things. And I think, personally, that it's a good idea to have one if you have it in your budget. Is it like, oh my God, I can't take a picture because I don't have a light meter? No, of course not. But if you can come into a situation and be like, okay, Mr. CEO, I need to make your portrait. Pop, 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 5.6, bam, the first shot comes out of the camera, perfect. That's a heck of a lot better than going, I think it might be 5. Oh, hold on. You don't want to do that, right? Nobody wants to be in the position. It comes down to the thing about the fixing it in post, right? You don't want to have to do that. It's good to have the skills to be able to guess. Maybe I know my lights well enough. Maybe I can do this. And oftentimes what I'll find, because I use these lights a lot, is once I get the basic setup, I don't pull the meter out every single time I change something. Because if I move the light only a little bit over here, I know it's the same distance. It's not really going to change, right? But when you're first getting into that environment and you need to start shooting, the light meter can be incredibly, incredibly useful. And I definitely recommend it. I mean, I think it's super useful. Even if you're working primarily with daylight, it can help you because you can walk into a room and meter different parts of it to get an idea of what it's going to look like. I mean, it can be very useful, you know? All right. Yeah, let's just, especially if you're using film, yeah. Oh, is Vanessa Joy here? I don't see her.
She's right there. Yeah. Vanessa Joy.
Vanessa Joy, oh my God. We spotted Vanessa Joy in Adorama in New York City. All right. She's very excited.
I'm gonna put it real close to it.
Yeah, well, why not? Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see, I'm getting real low. Oh, I'm getting a phone call, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh.
Looks like what I just showed. Looks like,
Do you remember the time where I did this and I hit the wrong button and it was Cliff and I had talked to him on a live stream? That was hilarious. That will not happen again, hopefully. All right, so now what's happened, right? Now we've bounced light from the silver card. Some of it has pink on it. Not all of it, but some of it has pink on it. So we've got this like little pink, let's lay all the gels on there.
okay.
Once you ask me for gels, it just doesn't stop. Like it just becomes a... Now theoretically, we could even put a gel up here. It wouldn't be the same exactly, but it would add some, it would be more likely cause color cast versus actually giving a spot of light. The reason for that is this light up here, it's bouncing off this whiteboard, just like with the gel close to the light, it's going to diffuse around and get all homogeneous, like milk, right? Milk, right? Yeah, milk. Look at me like I'm crazy.
Wow.
Yes. $5 per question.
The light that's in the ceiling there,
Yep.
you're using that too, right?
No. So the question is, am I using the light in the ceiling? Absolutely not. I'd have to pay extra for that. Adorama only has so much budget. I am absolutely not using it. No, we're only using the flash. We established at the beginning that with no flash, no, I know, I'm going to show you again because I'm that kind of guy. See how nice I am? If I turn my flash off and I take a picture, go ahead, Dave, you can get in there.
Oh, you can go.
Just so she knows I'm not cheating. So when we take the picture with no flash, right? What's that light on the top doing? That's right. Now, if I wanted to use that light, could I? Sure. But I don't want to.
You got this one.
Yeah. Ready, boss? Mm-hmm. hold on, you can do it. We've been shooting videos all day. Wait till you see the next video. Okay, so let me just go over what we're doing one more time before we do it. You always wait till you're about to take the pictures and you stop. That's the key to this. You know if you need to do. So the light's bouncing off here, creating an overhead light. Nice wash across her face, which creates us that, or with her chin up, that, right? But we want her to look right at us, so we're getting this, right? So if you take this picture, yeah, don't show me that picture, because I'll be like, what? So we added a reflector, right? Reflector really close, reflector in normal position, makes her have her mouth open like that. Reflectors make people have to breathe through their mouth. I don't know why, it's weird. But what we're gonna do now is we added a gel to the reflector. That's right, because you can't just gel lights, you can gel reflectors because the reflector is in fact kind of like a light, right? I mean, why not? And now we're gonna go crazy by shooting a black frame. All right, so now we got 3 gels on there because we're nuts.
And that's, There's a
There we
lot
go.
of pink on this one, I think.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Interesting.
that's interesting, right? Some of the gel, like the pink one, really seemed to make a lot. I feel like some of the blues up here in the shadow,
Yeah.
the green I'm not really seeing. So different gels are having different effects depending on where they're falling on her face. That's interesting to learn and to play with. Right? Now I'm all tangled up in the cord for some reason. Okay, other questions? That was too fast. I said one more thing and that was really fast. Should I do one more?
You're at 6:30.
All right, we're almost at 6:30. Any questions? You want to see anything? Yes.
Well, these shots are pretty good, but would you do
Uh-oh.
anything in post-processing
Wow.
to improve it? Like,
Okay, so would I improve my shots? Well, these are, okay. No. These shots are perfect. They're the best shots you're ever going to see. No. Okay, so of course, right. I'm not saying, I would never say that. So he's asking, would I do something in post-processing? Actually, to be honest, probably not. Not to these. They're simple shots. They're meant to be simple. I generally shoot to process, meaning that if I wanted to, maybe some of the funky color ones. Like for instance, if I look at this and I think it's too dark, I know you're going to hate me for saying this, but I just wouldn't use it because I would have just shot one that was correct. Now, if I had no choice, again, like I had to get the shot, I'm on news, but I'm here, right? If I look at this and it's too dark and I don't like it, what would I do? Shoot another one. It's easy as that. Now, that's another reason to be on a tripod and to have things on stands. I mean, again, we're doing a demo, so I'm not doing that. But frankly, any of the shots that I might use here, like you might do some post-processing to it, meaning that I might tweak her skin tone slightly. If she had a pimple, I might take it away. Am I gonna add light, modify it, try to fix it? No, I didn't need to do that with these. I mean, there's times where I shoot something where it needs, I shouldn't say need, times when I shoot things where I know I'm going to do a lot of post-processing. And when that's the case, I make sure I shoot for that. Right? I think that's the key, right? There's nothing wrong with using all kinds of funky things. That's actually awesome to create all kinds of cool filters and effects that you like. But if you're doing it as a reaction to took a picture and you don't like it, so you're just throwing something on top to make it acceptable, I feel like you might want to rethink how you shot it. That's my philosophy there. If you shot it with the intention of you saw some cool thing that was all kinds of post-processed and you're like, I want to do something like that, and you shot it for that, yeah, of course you would do that in post. There's no reason not to do post-processing. These pictures weren't shot with that intention, so I don't see myself doing anything besides maybe a quick touch-up on the skin if I needed to. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I would do to it. Do you have a suggestion? Okay. No, I mean, if you did, that's fine. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. What's that? What's that?
I made some HSL adjustments on the gel.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I mean, you could do that. You could mess around with the color, like saturation and stuff, depending on the gels. Yeah, it would really depend if you want to play with it. And I think actually, if that's what you're into, it'd be fun to set up a bunch of gel shots, get a model or a friend or whatever, shoot a bunch, and then start messing around with the HSL, see what it does, and then set up another shoot knowing what you can get with the HSL and get even better at it, right? And that's what I'm kind of talking about. Like, I think doing Photoshop or Lightroom or whatever as a reaction is generally not what we want to be. Doing it as a planned shoot is awesome. Like, that's where you want to be, right? You want to be at the point where I'm going to shoot this like this because ultimately it's going to look like that. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? So, no, this is a demo. I wasn't really shooting for anything. I mean, I'll give some pictures to Marissa. Maybe we'll put them on social, whatever, mess around. But these aren't, you know, professional shots. So in that sense, where I'm selling them, so I wouldn't do much to it.
Thoughts on frequency separation?
Okay, frequency separation. Oof. That's what you're gonna. Don't do that. No, I'm just kidding. So frequency separation, if people don't know what it is, a new way to. It's the new duplicate the layer, do Gaussian blur and erase, which people used to do, but better and nicer. That's a fine technique as long as you do it within a certain amount of control. If you go into somebody's skin, if you don't know what this is, you can look. You blur out all the changes of color, and then you leave all the sharpness, which is what you do, then people start to look like weird mannequin freaky things. That's not my style. I don't like it. Some people love that, whatever. I feel like color is part of what shapes somebody's face, right? So if Marissa has red cheeks and her forehead's a little bit more yellow and she's got some, you know, around here, I want that. I use that to shape her face. If I start removing all that color and blending it all together, that disappears. Now, there are people that have really patchy skin, and if you want, that's one way that you can really clean that up is frequency separation. It's really good for that. So yeah, it's a pretty decent technique if you do it correctly. Most people don't, because frankly, and I say most people don't because if I know that you're doing it, you didn't do it correctly, right? So when I say that, there's probably a gazillion people that are doing it awesome, and I just don't know they're doing it because any retouching, for the most part, in my opinion, should be so minor or subtle or done in such a way that you don't really see it. Unless you're, again, planning on doing a shot that has a certain look and you want that feel. You're doing this alien, funky, super space vibe shot. Like maybe what we did with the gels there. Not an alien like you do, but like some kind of weird, if that's your style, awesome. But again, if I shoot Marissa and she's beautiful and she's here, boy, I said that twice in one thing. I'm gonna give her a big height. She's terrible. If I shoot her and she looks the way she looks, and then I give her pictures where all of her skin is gone and she's like, why am I doing that? Like, why did I even bother to shoot her? Right? That's the way I look at it. And first, frankly, I find it to be insulting. It's the same answer I give to people when they're like, they go in and start making people skinnier or fatter or more muscle or more boobs or less boobs or make them taller or whatever. People are what they are, right? Shoot people the way they look, as good as possible, and make them happy with it. So that's my philosophy on that. I'm a bit of a hippie, sorry. Okay, questions? Yes?
No, just with what you said, could you tell me, the latest trend is to show the models very naturally with, you know, the beauty marks and...
Sure, right, okay. So latest trend is to show people naturally, okay, good.
And that's,
awesome.
That's a refreshing...
I think so, yeah. I mean, I like to shoot people the way they look. I mean, okay, this is the way I look at it. When I retouch, as a general rule, I try to only remove what isn't always there. So in other words, if Marissa shows up with a big pimple on her forehead, she doesn't always have that pimple, right? Hopefully. Do you always have the pimple? No. But she does have a scar right here, right? And you will see in every single time that I've ever shot Marissa, if you look at any of the pictures, that scar is in every single shot. I light her so it doesn't come out super majorly. You're looking like, does she have a scar? You haven't seen it, right? But I don't remove the scar because that's part of her. Now, if it was for a campaign where they wanted it removed, that's different. But I'm saying if I'm making a portrait of somebody, anything that's normally always there, freckles, moles, a scar, unless somebody specifically asked me to remove it, I would never remove something like that. I think that's just not the right way to do it, personally. It's me. You know, I also don't make people's eyes more blue or more white. Oh, that's the worst. Okay, questions? We should do a whole thing on retouching.
Actually,
No?
overtime would be that.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that in overtime one time. So by the way, if you guys don't follow me, please follow me on Facebook, Daniel Norton Photographer, YouTube, Daniel Norton Photographer. You can follow Marissa, Marissa.Roper on Instagram. Or you have MarissaRoper.com, right?
Oh yeah, Marissa.
And she has that, nobody goes there. Follow her on Instagram, she likes that better. Dave Brusca, what's that? My Instagram, make sure you follow me, Daniel Norton. I try to put stuff all the time. We are doing more and more stuff. If you guys don't know Seth, he's over here doing the mix, but he's a photographer. Pretty awesome photographer, don't tell him I said that. He does demos here, so make sure you guys sign up for those demos when you can. What's that, 3 o'clock on Mondays on Adorama's Instagram. He does like a little quick thing called Live View. So check that out, and he messes things up and makes it awesome. Messes up means cool, right? Okay, all right, I don't know. Anything else? What's that?
Say he's killing it.
He's killing it. All right, yes.
The discotheque.
What do you use where the pictures are coming out of?
Okay, I'll tell you that in a second. We're going to close online, and then we'll go over some of the equipment. All right, thanks for watching, guys, online. We'll be back next Thursday for something.
Oh, May 6th.
And on May 6th, if you guys don't know here, and also if you're online, I don't know if I should tell you. Yeah, I might tell you. May 6th, me and Seth, we're doing you got to, which is like $50 or something. You got to pay for it, $75. Hands-on, limited number of spots. We're going to be at Go Studios over here on 29th Street. We've got a penthouse rented out. It's through Adorama and a bunch of brands. We don't know exactly who they are yet, but there'll be something good. They're going to have equipment set up. We're going to have models. You guys can shoot. It's going to be all hands-on. It's going to be like half a day on a Sunday, which is May 6th. That's also Seth's birthday. It's not true. It's not Seth's birthday. You guys can fly to New York, get on Expedia right now, book some tickets. If you're here, book them. Go on to our Eventbrite, which is...
Adorama.com/events.
Oh, Adorama.com/events. Check that out, guys. Sign up for that. That'll be awesome. You can get hands-on, get to use the equipment. Dave will probably be there, even though he doesn't know it yet. So if everybody who wants to meet Dave, come to that. That would be the thing. And Marissa might be there. We'll see. We'll invite her. We'll see. We'll do a vote of which models we want to invite. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Next Thursday, we'll be back with, I think it's men and women.
Hard light, soft light.
Oh, hard light, soft light. So hard light, soft light next week. We'll use a whole bunch of lights. We'll play around, and we'll get more intense. So thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.